all the teams agreed to it, and we're not going to miss a single beat in the tourney as far as scheduling is concerned. We're not going to have to wait and delay the tournament until Saturday or anything like that. Yeah. Everything's on track, so good to go along here.
Everything is definitely good to go.
Speaking of which.
Yeah, the teams are good to go. So actually with that said, let's jump into the game here. We got IG taking on VDT. This is to kick things off here for day number 2. What, again, is the Group B stages. So as far as all 5 teams in Group B, by the way, you got, of course, these 2 teams, Internet Gangsters, Vietnamese Dream Team. We also have Team USA, which is X Complexity with minus Moo Meander plus Zai, a great team there. We have Locomotives, of course, Joleman Crew, as I always like to call them. And then we have BRB 3 Min, which is definitely a team, as we saw in the Ultimate Series, and a great roster there, and a team that's going to be fun to watch as well. So 5 quality teams, no doubt. Only the top 3 are going to be moving on to that bracket stage. All best of 1 here through the group stages. So there you go. Let's get it on. All right, so we got game number 1 here to start the day. IG VDT. We're already well into it. The blind banning stage, look at that. Monkey King and Empath taken care of by Insania. Insania is such a nice guy, by the way. They won the role. It's a best of 1 series. IG won the role, and he's like, you know what? My decision is to let VDT make the decision. Basically pass it to them. He's like, you know what, you guys can make the decision if you want help. We're in a Legion. I don't really care.
Is he getting inside their head?
Maybe, I guess. Maybe there's something to it, but...
Is that Stroyfutter playing with them?
It is, actually. Yeah, that's a good point.
Is this going to be insane?
Stroyfutter stepping up.
I haven't seen him since he brought Suicide Warbeast to the scene.
Yeah.
Back at the end of his time with OTP. So Stroyfutter appearing here. Let's see how they actually make it work in this tournament. I'm not sure if that's going to be a long-term addition or not. No, actually, you know what? He's actually playing as a backup player for We Are Spies, so okay. I don't expect him to be joining IG, but who knows? I don't think so. I think he's just a fill-in. I'll confirm more later. Either way, we got the bans. Monkey King Empath banned out by IG. Keeper of the Forest Tempest banned out by VDT.
Yeah.
Things that stand out is Ophelia was not banned, etc. In terms of power junglers, Warbeast is still on the board. Now, taking a look at it, we go ahead to the locking phase, and Insania went ahead and locked Rally first, not like a normal power jungler. You can see, like, oh, we're going to lock Ophelia, we're going to grab it. Some insight to that, and we'll have to see how it plays out. But it's actually really interesting now that I see the Master of Arms join that lock pool as well. But there's the Ophelia Parasite mashup, and which people typically believe that Ophelia might be the stronger of the 2 heroes, but Parasite can offer a lot of aggression, can put a team on the back burner before they're actually able to get it going. Besides that, Rally being in the pool.
Yeah.
IG knows how much VDT values Rally. A lot of times, that's the other thing. They've been skipping junglers in favor of running double line suns, in favor of running aggressive lineups, using Rally, Magnus, using Soulmates, and they're actually running more of an aggressive laning phase as well.
Yeah.
In sort of a duel with a roam setup. So that being said, we'll have to see whether or not IG will opt to first pick Rally, knowing they can either get Ophelia or Parasite in the end, or if they're still going to go with an Ophelia draft. In favor of getting something maybe like an Ophelia Master of Arms or something, and maybe that. So we'll have to see which way they take it.
Yeah, of course, it's been a little bit of time now, but VDT, no doubt, still riding a bit of momentum, still riding a bit of that wave even from the DreamHack event, although they didn't win it all by any means, but they had some pretty big victories, and they gained a large fan base, no doubt. So, seeing them here today against IG, I think it's safe to say the fans definitely tuning in even more so than they would have perhaps before that DreamHack event, and going to see what they're all about still. So Pee-wee, of course, himself specifically has really stepped up. You see the ban, though, as we talked about on the Monkey King, but Pee-wee has proven he could play many a plethora of heroes. It just happens Monkey King is a signature hero of his, but there's many more out there. But you do look at the bans, and with that said, you see the first one off the bat, Gemini. Look at this, Gemini Scout Swiftblade. Being banned here by Insania.
Insania is tailoring all of his bans to this VDT team. That shows a lot of respect. First off, the Empath blind ban blah blah blah. The Empath blind ban speaks measures to support strength of that hero. I mean, I can't say against any other team you'd ever seen Empath blind ban. So it's a bit of a respect ban there, and hopefully not as much of a ban like, oh, we don't think he can play other heroes as well, but more of just how well he plays that Empath. On top of that, we've seen Pee-wee with his insane Swiftblade play, the Gemini carry, the Monkey King, and, Scout as well. So banning a lot of Pee-wee's favorite heroes there. Big Sensation rounding out the banning phase with a Wretched Hag. Already have taken out Lodestone Warbeast. We mentioned that Warbeast was still on the board, and, godfather of Suicide Warbeast himself, Stroyfutter there, on the Legion side. Probably a smart idea to take that out.
Yeah. So the banning phase finishing up with the Wretched Hag. Insania now going to choose a first pick option here as far as what they want to go with. As always, plenty of options on the board, plenty of solid options on the board with that said. Yeah, it definitely reminds me of Morris. Bubbles is the first pick, but this Pee-wee over here for VDT, how it's that Chew factor, man. I mean, back in the day when Chew was obviously around for We Are Pigs and whatnot, it was always play around Chew. If you can lock down Chew, if you can do great against him, then you usually would come through with the victory. It seemed like, at least, or that was a viable strategy. So seems like that's what teams go for here against Pee-wee when it comes down to it. So. Bubbles, though, the first pick. Again, VDT, so you'd be in sensation, right-clicking that torture off the bat. Wouldn't be a big surprise there by any means to see that, but I'm looking forward to, as always, what Pee-wee's hero of choice is going to be this game, especially with the bans on heroes like Gemini, Swiftblade, and Ultimate Monkey King. We'll see what he goes with this time around. So
we've seen other crazy hard carries in the past, and we've seen him fall back to conventional ones as well. It doesn't always have to be offbeat. I'm sure Pee-wee is quite experienced. He was initially known, actually, for his silhouette play as well. Not something that I'd expect to see him play right now, given the state of the metagame, but actually interesting to see that Demented Shaman drafted. Curious to see whether Torture is going to be, especially with the Master Farms and Engineer in the pool, whether Torture in this game is actually going to be more of a in that carry role and grabbing another hero for secondary support.
That is... Yeah, that's. I'm sure it's getting Insania thinking a little bit. Like, okay, Demented Shaman here, as you're just mentioning, not only how are they going to run it, but does it open the door for maybe some strategy like the Balfagor, like really heavy push and something like that, like a Zephyr even, to come out here from VDT.
Yeah.
So
whenever you have sustained physical damage too, though, the Demented Shaman can be a great pickup. The lingering effects of that ultimate as the fight goes on. Say you're pushing down a tower, you cast out on the enemy team, 5-8 seconds into it. If they want to fight you, they're going to be fighting at a pretty heavy disadvantage there, at least in terms of their armor. And it's a mass AoE. It's absolutely massive cast range, so it's very easy to land. It's not like one of those ultimates where, like, yeah, I can probably get it off, but it's going to be hard. DS can always get his ultimate off.
Yeah.
And if he's actually being played in more of a solo role himself, something like the Staff of the Master in the mid game isn't too unusual to see, and that makes that ultimate so much more ridiculous.
Yeah, Swin of Melons, we saw him play it every now and then, and that was definitely a build that we did see. So the Stormcloud, a very intimidating ability. We'll see if it comes into play here, I'm sure. Glacia's Silhouette, though, going to be the response here for Internet Gangsters. So going Glacius and then Silhouette is their carry of choice.
How about that Silhouette pick? I mean, a hero that we'll see how he chooses to build it. Tapered off a lot especially when he's going for the straight and all-stone rush. Tapered off a lot during the more extreme early game pressure and early to mid team fight meta that we saw near the end of the Wild Soul. Actually, he skipped past our sights. Was still on the board. Now the team picking him up, maybe in favor of a little bit more aggression. VDT typically running a lot more of an aggressive style themselves, so I'm going to be really watching their team to see their play style as they use this Wild Soul. Because when I see a Wild Soul and I see Demented Shaman, I see a lineup that doesn't have the mobility to respond to an early game if they take a beating. It's not like they can go set up gank so easily. So if they lose the early game here, and that's that rally pick we were talking about first, it's going to be tougher for them to recover. Of course, Wild Soul, immense carry potential.
Yeah, I'm thinking something like maybe Pebbles Parasite here, Pebbles Ophelia even.
Yeah, Pebbles makes sense for sure. The Ophelia, the stronger hero of the two, and as long as you're comfortable with it, I would have expected it. And it stops any heal on the other side.
An Engineer, the final pick over here for Internet Gangsters on top of that.
That tells me they're going to ward the jungle.
Yeah.
Because when you drop the jungler in favor of that, they're actually looking out, instead of having their own jungler and having to worry about his success, they're just straight up more concerned with, we're going to box you out, Ophelia, make you move around, we're going to hunt you down. It actually looks like IG is playing VDT's game more so this game than the side that we've seen out of them. And IG's a team that we actually haven't gotten to cover too much of lately.
Well, yeah, the Ultimate Series, I don't know if
they had to forfeit one of the times, and they had a lot of stuff going on. And
obviously DreamHack, they didn't end up qualifying for.
Yeah, so I'm really interested. They've been keeping at it, and, well, I think they've been excited to keep pushing forward. I know the VDT guys, at least some of them, were over hanging out at, I think, Insania's place not too long ago.
I heard about that.
Yeah, so obviously the teams are on good terms, despite being adversaries on this day.
Also noticing Pee-wee playing Demented Shaman here. Going to be playing a solo Demented Shaman.
I had a little bit of an itch that might be happening. Because I saw the Wild Soul, and I'm like, well, that's got to be going to Fabelli.
Yeah.
And sure, Pee-wee might play something like a Pebbles, but is that going to be a carry DS? I mean, I know a lot of other hard carry type players that have been known to play. Even Cookies, the other Monkey King specialist, Demented Shaman is often listed as one of his other favorite heroes. So maybe there's something to go hand in hand there. If you like Monkey King, maybe
a little bit
Demented
different
Shaman
style,
is your other.
Well, I guess
a hero Capable of
Kinda
crushing for
coincidence.
sure, given the farm, though.
Oh yeah, no, I've always been a Demented Shaman. I've said it many of times. You know, when I get asked the question of who's your favorite hero, Breaky, I most of the time I find myself going back to Demented Shaman.
Not Martyr.
Not Martyr.
Not
No,
Berserker.
Martyr. Berserker's great too. But honestly, it's just the idea. I love playing, Dodor Counterport and Shadow Priest in the sense of the support style with the mass amount of heals you get. That's kind of the role I've always liked to play. But his solo potential too, as you're just
Immense.
saying. I mean,
Absolutely
it really
immense.
is.
He dominates a lot of matchups. Besides that, it's like he carries just through how strong his abilities are.
Yeah.
And he can put out, and the minus armor makes your entire team have that carry presence in the mid fights as well. You put out a team that has some physical. Look at Wild Soul eventually getting a bulwark on the Boo Boo on top of things, right in their face, hitting them as well. So a lot of potential there. And you know what? All four of his abilities,
They synergize very well.
They synergize very well, and especially as you have them maxed out, it feels like you're always casting something repeatedly in a fight. You're always doing something compared to some heroes that feel like they have some downtime. So I think it's part of what makes Demented Shaman such a great hero.
I love the change to the Unbreakable too, especially with the added damage effect. So especially in this case, we could see that being used even offensively, where you're just simply using it for the damage effect more so than to even save somebody or save
A lot
yourself,
of times,
so.
yeah, we do see that, especially in laning. And besides that, the actual way when it says the target dies, their HP will be set to 125, 200, 275, 350. I'm not sure how it exactly works, and I've seen it at Twitch. I'd like to actually take a look and say the exact math of it, but from what I've seen, it might not actually just be like that. It might be if a spell, say they have 100 health, you take a 300 damage nuke. I think sometimes you go back to 100 and then you actually gain the 250 on top. I've seen it where it seems weird and you gain back way more life, it looks like, than you should be. I'm not sure the exact mechanics behind it, so I'd actually need to take a look. But I've seen it, especially when you're looking at heavy damage nukes, and I'm a little bit curious actually to.
Yeah, I never thought about
that. I'll test that a little bit later, just for my own curiosity. But I have seen that. I've gone back and reported that. I didn't know if that was a or not. So, yeah, it definitely has some huge turnaround potential, though.
All right, so it looks like VN Sensation making his restart here and eventually loading into the game. Always have fun with that first load when you relog, but
hey, look at that, Berkey.
What it takes.
When we talk about Silhouette and how people like to rush an all-stone, I like to see more of a smooth transition. What does that tell you right there when you look at Silhouette? Yep, straight up Energizer.
Yep.
Going to be in the game plan here for Zibe, so not wasting a goal at the start. We're getting the core items, getting pulled regen as well, so he's allowed that extra stats. Unfortunately, I think he's 7 gold shy of picking up the agility slippers, but he can actually pick that up at the side shop if he wants. No, he's going to get extra regen instead.
Yeah, just going to go for the health potion here.
What?
I don't know
Yeah, we got an extra set of treaters.
Okay.
Blight stones.
So being given the regen for that short lane bottom, I wonder if that's okay. Oh yeah, going up against a Wild Soul, so not going to give it to their. Are they going to be running an aggressive tri lane here? Even? I mean, I guess yeah. I guess.
And you look at no, for sure, because remember they're trying to box out the Ophelia here. I would hope they do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay.
Either dual mid / well, they have a Bubbles, keep in mind, who's more likely to go mid. And then the thing about Rally is if they put him top, and we'll see where he actually winds up because he doesn't have any pulled regen himself, but if they either will lane with him or they can rotate and go between trying to gank and set up kills mid and top, as both heroes are very self-sufficient. Actually, all three, look at Rally, Silhouette, and Bubbles, all phenomenal solo heroes in their own right. So they do have a lot of, when you look at an aggressive lineup like that Glacius Engineer, yeah, it gives them a lot of room for aggression, really, without having to worry about their lanes.
See, Ophelia, right off the bat, she's actually headed towards the bottom lane here.
Yeah, she's like, not going to happen.
Yeah.
She has to be careful, though, especially with a Glacius. It's very easy to catch out and kill that Ophelia if they actually return the power. And making Ophelia bounce between woods is going to severely hinder her farm.
Yeah. Definitely some interesting lane setups coming as a result of the play here from IG as far as they wanted to start it. So the Torture Demented Shaman lane top. Wonder how long that's going to last if Torture may just eventually swap to the middle lane, of course. But for now, he's kind of roaming around. He's seeing if Camp's going to spawn. Obviously, it's not. There's a Rev Ward here. Glacius also being here, but Torture's the one that needs to be careful. As Engineer and Glacius could definitely collapse on top of him. So he's instead going to go to the lane. And for now, it's going to be a 3 versus 2 here.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that plays out. Look at this, though. Look at IG. They also, they block their own camps here in the jungle. And so Ophelia going down here to actually take over the camp over here, and sure enough, it's blocked. So Very smart play coming out from IG here.
Yeah, so
they knew what was going to happen.
This first minute, too, insanely crippling to Sophia. By the time she's able to solve the puzzle, track what's going on, they're all going to have a little bit of a level advantage there in like the presence in the lane. So great play. IG, honestly, playing HoN the way I like to see it played, in more of an aggressive manner here with this lane set up top and asserting the early pressure of your opponents instead of just being okay to have, oh, you do your thing, we do our thing. You're going to win bottom lane, we're going to win top lane, and you know, we'll meet like around the 8 to 10 minute mark, and or the first time someone gets a good rune or ganks out of the jungle in mid. This is always fun to watch.
Yeah, it definitely is. It really just shows, you know, the strategy level of the game. It is more so than just simply going to your lane, last hitting, and eventually killing the heroes. There's a lot of strategy involved, and this is definitely just part of it going into that laning phase. So
it's evolving. It's evolving, and I think once again, the Wards of Rev being available at the start of the game definitely allowed for more options. People are continuing to tinker with the options available, and just looking forward to seeing what's coming up. We had Doc Kaiser on the podcast, and we talked a little about potential upcoming balance patch on top of the new drafting mode, and more possibilities on top of a fresh start with the new season of Hot Tour.
Yeah, I can't wait for that captain's pick, man. It's going to be a lot of fun to sit. Now, I don't want to overhype it because, you know, especially when we've had big changes in the past, especially, you know, when lockpick was first introduced and big balance changes, seems like it takes a little bit of time before we start seeing the adaptation. Oh, Dimension Shaman in the meantime at the top lane, actually in a lot of trouble. He still doesn't have any abilities, actually. He finally levels up his heal bomb right there. Will he go unbreakable here? I think it's going to have to if he wants to stay alive. He's not even going to. He finally
he leveled it up afterwards. That's awkward.
I'm not sure what the deal was there.
Maybe he wasn't using, maybe he tried to use the hotkey for it and kept hitting the wrong button in a moment of pressure. Either way, a big mistake coming out from Pee-wee, as that unbreakable would have definitely helped him for a bit there. He had mana, am I right?
Yo, most certainly, yeah.
So, you're going to be not sure what happened there. It's honestly, he was feeling the pressure, was trying to juke, and I think his focus was in a different spot, you know, focusing more on having the footsies there. Bubbles with that chuck! Beautiful execution.
Yep.
Absolutely beautiful. And you know what? Bet you Stroyfooter's regretting not having a point of take cover now. For that Torture Stun. I think the Torture Stun actually came out a little bit late.
Well, it wasn't even that. The Stalagmites initially.
Well,
but I guess even with
Stalagmites has a lingering effect, so even if you dodge it. But I feel like the Torture Stun, he actually had a split sec there. So one of those moments, and artfully timed combo.
Yeah, well played. Storyfooter is still level 4 on top of that, but obviously Pebbles really loving his farm now with that kill he just got himself. So yeah, I'm still a little baffled by the Pee-wee situation up top, where again, probably just a panic mode and simply wasn't able to level it up. I see he still might have died in the end, but at least you know, more damage would have returned, and if not a counter kill opportunity could have even happened. But in the end, it's what it is. And you see Demented Shaman here. He's actually just going to kind of chill for now in the jungle and trying to find anything to do. Yeah.
And Ophelia's home already invaded as well, so neither of them are having a good time. Unfortunately, you look at the Golden experience, and yeah, sure, they're doing a great job controlling the top lane. They're doing a great job controlling the Ophelia, but it does come at a cost. Overall, the Golden experience, pretty neutral between both sides.
Yeah.
So they are giving this Pebbles absolute free farm. So we're focusing a lot on what they're doing right on IG side, but you look at VDT side, and well, once again, it's checks and balances. You're like, okay, we're doing this, but not checks, but you know, it's give and take, I guess, where they were doing this, but we're actually going to lose out a little bit on that. And
yeah, Wild Soul's not that big of a surprise. We've seen it. It seems like every single game he's played in that Suicide role. Sure, whatever start he has, he'll eventually recover, get that mock, and eventually do his work from there. So the fact that you have a Pebbles, getting the amazing farm, getting that earlier on portal key will be the goal, of course, and starting momentum right there, and then buying time for that Wild Soul, opening up the map for him to ultimately get that recover is going to be the name of the game here, I'm sure, for the Hellboard team. Now, with that said, Silhouette is having a great time, 311 gold per minute to Exhibit, and I'm sure that Energizer is going to be coming sooner than later. Probably going to finish Steam Boots right here. Off to the side, there you go. Energizer probably going to be next in line now. Glacius, in the meantime, running into a haste of torture action. That's dangerous right there. Impalement is up. Actually, there's a chain reactions and the final auto attack to finish off Glacius. So support picking off Sender there.
Well, you saw Sender went up there initially just to place the ward. Unfortunately, the timing, Torture getting that haster and allowed him to box him out. Now, looking like he wants to try something up again maybe for this Bubbles. Will he be able to do it?
Stalagmites were just used, so wouldn't be able to have that follow-up. And he does have a level and take cover now, obviously. So
that was more of a reactive pickup. He's like, actually, I do need it. because otherwise you wouldn't get your silence first. It doesn't do anything at level 1.
Yeah, especially in this case.
With extra damage. Yeah, so we'll see. He's getting boxed out a bit there. I mean, he has some idea there's a presence of Torture. Torture doing a great job hiding around. It's the problem when you try to play aggressive, man. It can work. It can definitely work, and it can pay off huge.
Yeah.
But it's difficult, and if one thing goes wrong, you know how it can spiral. Torture with that great reactor plate of Glacius, and all of a sudden... Uh-oh!
Yeah, speaking of that, Sender trying to find some revenge here, but support just a little bit too quick to get away. And actually, it's going to be spotted with the Ward of Sight running on over. That was just placed by Sender, but it doesn't matter in the end. So back to the lane they go. And speaking of that, the laning phase, Pebbles continuing to really dominate, man. I mean, the kill's one thing, but look at that creep score, 46 and 19. He is actually dominating the creep farm overall in this game right now. Just getting finished with Steam Boots and still has another 700 gold even saved on top of that. Not even going the boots or bot, or I'm guessing he went bottle actually.
He didn't go bot yet.
I was going to say, that's actually
it.
really odd. Okay, so.
No, it's always curious as you see him hanging off to the support.
Yeah.
I know.
Caught me off guard for a second. I'm like, wait a second. But yes, has it. Anyway, Silhouette is getting close to finishing the Energizer. And speaking of her, she actually just killed Boo Boo right there. And the respawn isn't up just yet. It's still 2 seconds. So that's actually a little bit unfortunate there for Wild Soul. In the meantime, back to the middle lane. Actually, Pebbles is in a lot of trouble. Says, get off me, bro. The Kelpo was already used. And the Shell Surf will finish him off. So Pebbles getting a little too aggressive. And before he knew it, it looks like Engineer also surprised him. And actually, the collapse happened. And Pebbles goes down. So big kill for Internet Gangsters here.
They needed it. Pebbles was sitting out. I mean, Pebbles will still be on track for a pretty decently timed portal key as long as he doesn't receive too much more resistance. But given that uncontested free farm, I like that they did something about it. Immediately using that Kelp field as soon as he hit level 6. It'll be on cooldown. They'll try to find another angle. As I mentioned before, the name of the game for the Legion side is aggression, aggression, aggression. Take advantage of the fact that they don't have as much early mobility.
Yeah.
Their solo DS, who is supposed to be more of their early game presence, the
Not
point
so
hero
much.
for the early game, is lagging behind this Wild Soul, who, even though he's doing great, it's still going to be a bit of a path until he picks up that mock.
Yeah. Yeah, it is unfortunate because I definitely am always excited to see a hero like Demented Shaman in that solo role shine and seeing what he can bring to the table. But Pee-wee is just being completely locked down here at the top lane. Only 115 gold per minute, 14-1 creep score. You see right here, he's going to stack a camp. I mean, he's basically playing a support Demented Shaman at this point when it comes down to it. And, you know, we talked about how that's usually not what you would prefer, but it just so happens that's just how this game is going to work out, at least early on.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I mean, you call it support. I mean, he's still giving all his farm is going to go towards items when he gets it. But yeah, in terms of what he actually has, sure. Rally hit level 6 now as well. Top of Engineer. How often do you see Engineer hit level 6 this early on and actually on par with the hero he's supporting?
Yeah, and Sania going back to support roots too, in the sense that obviously he's playing secondary support here. Usually playing the jungler more recently.
Yeah, but jungler, what often do you see them in as well? The jungle role is expected to be able to fill in more of a utility slot as well in this game. Playing that Engineer, but not given the primary support.
Yeah,
he is going to be that number 4, the utility farmer for the utility support for the team, where he's still going to be allowed to get items, which on a hero like Engineer, he can really thrive, given a tablet, given a portal key. Uh-oh!
Oh, here we go. There's a great couple. There's the energy field right on top, and holy crap, the Hellborn team going to fall apart. Pebbles is nearby, but he's going to realize quickly not want to get interested in that. And actually, oh my god, Zergo going back in. Not sure what Zergo's thinking right here. It's a 4 versus 1.
Glacius slow up soon. Now it is!
There's the Shell Surf. Tries to dodge that for whatever reason. The slow does come out. Some more auto attacks. No kicks are going to be had. It doesn't matter. Stroy Footer ends with a hat trick there. I don't know what Zergo was thinking at all.
Yeah, I have no idea why you need to go in. They're like, I'm going to go kill the Bubbles
they were all full
at
alive,
the cost
too.
of my own life. When I'm. Thing is, even if he killed Bubbles, it looked like he would have died for it anyway. Yeah. And on top of that, the team desperately needs him. DS has no momentum right now. Wild Soul has momentum, but isn't able to do anything with it. They're relying on Pebbles. They're absolutely relying on Pebbles to actually carve an earlier path through the team to be able to hold on, get that Wild Soul's knock, and make something happen. You cannot do that when the team you are the crutch for the rest of your team. Meanwhile,
Rally's actually in a little bit of trouble. He has that portal key, not going to be able to use it right here. The Entangle is applied. The slow is going to miss, but doesn't matter. Pebbles comes in and actually smashes Rally's face in right there. So a big counter kill coming out.
Too. That's strange.
Yeah, I know.
It looks like he was getting bored in the lane, because otherwise he was safe. He was farming the top lane. There was uncontested free farm.
How about that?
Rally, stop.
Portal key Steam Boots for Rally already.
He just wanted to use it, but sometimes Sit down. Just go farm. Your team won the team fight. Get over it. You weren't there for it. They had fun. You didn't. Now go farm.
Go back to fighting the AI. I mean, that's big, but yeah, the fact that he's only level 6 still and has a Stingus Portal Key, I'm still a little shocked by even. But again, he's going to go back to the lane now.
Insania says hi. He's level 7.
Yeah, right. Insania being a lot.
And he's moving around the map, too. He's like, yeah, I'm doing kills. It's going great for me. I've been part of 5. How's it going, Mr. 0 and 1?
How's it going, Fuzi? Oh, top lane. Speaking of Fuzi, once again, Dimension Shaman running in. Not going to get anything off, though. Ophelia not the best minions here for a game. Catman Champion Vagabond. So, they might not be able to successfully set anything up, but at least harassment. In fact, Rowley going offensive. There's the Seismic Step, but there Ophelia's heal coming out just before, and now Fuzi might be in a little bit of trouble with Dimension Shaman. Of course, he's great with that heal pump. Gonna help turn things around. The auto attacks coming out, and Rowley will fall. Will fall? Yes. The entangled dot damage doing work right
Rowley,
there.
what are you doing?
I don't know. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, big chaos going on. Torture will fall. Glacius off to the side. He's gonna be fine for now. Pebbles still no portal key just yet, so Glacius will be fine. It ends up being, well, pretty much a 1-for-1, you could say, but still Rowley dying again. It's a big kill, and actually, if anything, helping Dimension Shaman get back into this game here.
Engineer. Actually going for the plated Greaves. I love that, because A, they don't have junglers to be picking it up. He is like a utility role, so sort of in that similar spot. B, a lot of times you don't see it on supports through them getting extra. I mean, look, they're going against a Demented Shaman here, who's going to be building up a ton of minus armor, so that plate Greaves is great for his team. But on top of that, I think it's honestly a phenomenal support boot. Just a lot of times your supports can't afford it early on.
Yeah.
A hero like Engineer, excellent base armor to begin with. Throw on the plate, he's sitting at 11 without the passive even activated.
Jeez, yeah.
And now without a Ring of the Teacher nearby. I mean, he will be hitting insane numbers early on, and when you're playing aggressive, survivability is the name of the lane, the name of the game, and at 800 health and that much armor, he has a ton of effective HP.
Wild Soul, 1,200, 1,300 gold saved up. He did choose to go Ghost Marchers first on Boo Boo. He's been using Boo Boo pretty aggressively. Boo Boo's died at least 3 or 4 times this game, I believe. But again, he's just using those cooldowns wisely and getting him back up when necessary, and then going back to farming with him. So, and he also denied the bottom tower, which is well played. Back to the middle lane though. Demented Shaman actually might be in a little bit of trouble. An Invis Silhouette nearby. However, Pebbles also nearby now with that portal key. So if anything, this could be a good bait right here by VDT. If they can get something out of this. Silhouette, Invis, he's going to run right by them. They have no clue that he's here, and he's sitting right on top of them. And there we go. The Glacier is going to be jumped. Center's in a lot of trouble. He will finally fall. And Silhouette's just like, what do you want me to do? I mean, I'm just going to be into it. It's actually a Warden Rev right there. So he was spotting. He's going to go back into it. Uh-oh. Is he going to go back into it? No. He's going to sit off to the side. There's the auto. What is Silhouette thinking right here? Silhouette's going to risky. There's a Kelpa coming out. So some teamwork coming out in the meantime. The Magic Shaman barely staying alive. Gets the tangle off. Will fall shortly after. Stalagmite Bubbles barely going to live, though, himself. And he will stay alive in the end. Now Torture and Pebbles on the run. However, Ophelia going to join the party. Silhouette looking for a cutoff, but I don't know if Xibbe's going to find it. Meanwhile, back here, Pebbles does finish off Bubbles. And Engineer Insania might be in some trouble. Back over here, though, Torturer, actually, he's also going to be in a lot of trouble at some point, realizing he ain't going to get out of this one. He will be collapsed on. This fight still going. Engineer, one more auto attack. He chucks the Vagabond leader and gets the kill. And that is how things will finish. Silhouette just going to say sayonara. Wow, that was a crazy sequence of events there, Emperor.
Yeah, huge fight for VDT, and as well as VDT played, I have to say IG basically fed them those kills.
Yeah.
Glacius had vision of the Pebbles, who proceeded to jump him. I mean, he was taking a gamble saying, oh, do you have a ward here? Do you not? I'm going to risk that. On top of that, if they had that Silhouette Invis there and sitting behind the tower, they had a massive advantage already in this early game. He could have been farming the woods, and if they wanted to make an aggressive play with that Invis, rotate the entire team there and make it happen. Quit dilling around, not pushing the lane, push the lane, have your entire team there, and then have it set it up for a little bit of initiation advantage. Don't only go half in. If you're going to make a decision, commit to it.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a little, it made sense, you know, once the Kelfa came in and everything, but clearly, and if
Too
anything...
late, though. It was already a minute something passed.
Yeah, but the biggest thing to remember, too, is that Fibeli on Wild Soul wasn't even there. He's just busy pushing the bottom lane, just got a tower kill out of it, and you look at that now, 2,600 plus gold already saved up for him. He's going to have a very efficient Mock of Brilliance here at this rate. And that is never, never, never good news for the opposition, in this case, Internet Gangsters. So
you got to rally the troops. They needed to have 5 to the mid lane a lot sooner, and it would have gone there.
Rally the troops. Rally going to jump into the Demented Shaman. Seismic not going to go off. He does have heal, but can't get off in time. Pebbles joins the party at the last second. He will finish off Engineer. The flank from Ophelia stops Glacial Downpour, and Alcindor will also fall. In the meantime, Rally 1 second. He has a portal key as well. He is going to be fine when it's all said and done. That was really close soon, and actually the Hasted Pebbles continuing to chase for good reason. Rally is going to fall here. One more auto attack. There we go. Not even necessary. Big kills coming out there for VDT. And again, IG just falling for some bait. 3-1 exchange.
They seemed like they were totally feeling each other's pulse on the team in the early game, but since then, it kind of feels like they're all operating on their own wavelength. I don't really see it coming together anymore. And sure, excellent response going from VDT, but I mean, I'm still going back to the mid-fight. I mean, they knew they had a Wild Soul that didn't have a mock yet. They knew they'd have a numbers advantage if they all committed. They had the Engineer ultimate up. They had everything pretty much going in their favor. I think they had Glacia's ulti still. TPs coming in would have been stopped by the Engineer ultimate. There's just a lot of things they had going in their favor that have since been sacrificed, and now we actually see the gold lead in favor of VDT. Wild Soul farming big, about to pick up that sword.
Yeah. Oh, Ophelia might be in a little bit of trouble. Nope, the minions actually doing enough blocking right there to kind of cut Rally away. By the way, Silhouette going a very interesting build here. Lightbrand picked up by Silhouette.
Interesting.
To start things off. She's had it for a little bit now. 1,500 gold saved up.
I kind of like it in terms of damage. Instead of going for that Nullstone straight survivability route, Nullstone can be a very important tool for the mana. It gives a Silhouette, but it is more of a passive tool. When you go something like Lightbrand, especially into that Searing Light, maybe eventually a lot more aggressive, a lot more damage. Gives you the farming capability that a Nullstone might, but a lot sooner too, as it provides a lot more mana than say a Monotube would during the build-up. I kind of like it.
Yeah.
But it would have been good at the pacing the game was previously going at.
Yeah.
Now when you're looking at a Wild Soul who's building something like a Mach, which will be a devastating item, and you're not continuing to apply that earlier pressure to make sure your team has that relative advantage, it might be a bit more questionable still. I think a lot of Silhouette's damage does come out from her abilities in the early game, and you can't forget about the searing effect that Lightbrand has built in.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see a Searing Light here coming out for her with the Firebrand purchase as well on top of the Lightbrand. So she has enough gold for it. Not going to do it just yet. She currently is cleaning out the Hellborn jungle, actually, so maximizing her farm there. And again, her farm is damn impressive, 450 gold per minute. So definitely can't forget about Xibbe at the same time and the success that he is having. But more dangerous, you could definitely argue, is that Maka Brilliance on Boo Boo specifically. And it is coming up shortly. Right as I say that, the Wild Soul getting jumped on, but at what cost right here? The return going to be coming out with the teleports, and Tango going to be applied to Engineer. And Senior realizing quickly he's going to be the absolute sacrificial lamb here, as the rest of his teammates are going to run away. So both Silhouette and Rally in the end going to be fine. But Wild Soul in ulti form, always a dangerous target to try to gank.
At the tower, the ports came out. I think it was literally within a tenth of a second there of him getting initiated. It was fast. They knew it was coming. They got a kill. Wild Soul continuing to farm and push out the lane. Mid lane being farmed up by Pebbles, already sitting at 2,200 gold. Only needs 700 more for that shrunken head. VDT looking strong.
Yes, they are. Both teams have no doubt had some questionable decision-making, but in the end, VDT is still the one in top right now. And as you just mentioned, that lead is definitely growing, the golden experience. And as you always like to refer to as well, by the way, Pebbles is in a lot of trouble right here. Rally and Bubbles chasing and demolishing Roar. The final auto attack, not enough for this. Not going to be enough, actually. 2 seconds. Can he down the Shell Surf? No, he cannot. Storyfooter just sniping him out. That was very close for Sarago, but while that is happening, look at that. The top secondary tower also pushed in, so definitely not a kill that or death you want, but hey, at least they got another tower kill out of it. The distraction.
A moment of silence for Sir Reginald Boo Boo the Fourth. That bear had fallen at the top tower, so his successor now up as well. Let's see, you should have that mock
like
equipped
5 or
now
6 times, I believe. Man.
Yeah, it's a proud family line.
Yeah,
but this one does have the mock equipped, so quite a bit stronger.
Reginald the Fifth, a little stronger. Well, why Reginald?
I don't know, dude.
Come from?
I think I played game Borderlands before, and I think there was a character called like Sir Reginald Barnaby or something like that. I don't remember.
There might be. That sounds like something that would be in that game. Frozen or Searing Light, excuse me, was finished by Silhouette. By the way, another 1,700 gold saved out. So we'll see where she goes from here if it's split up into the Geometer's Bane and whatnot. But Ophelia, on the other hand, a Ring of Sorcery just finished with the Astrolabe, looking very nice. Demented Shaman, Pee-wee has found a lot of room to recover here. Still not, the top of the line by any means, but he's at 226 gold per minute. He's got some solid build-up here, and actually you see right there, he finishes a Sacrificial Stone even. So looking pretty good. Fuzi, again, might be in some trouble here. Ophelia and Torture nearby. They don't really have the biggest jump opportunities, so not going to go for it, and instead, Bubbles is going to roam around with this Invis rune.
Safe so far, and they don't seem to have a read on it.
No revs. There is a Bubble Torture.
This is it. This is the end. Not yet. Are you busting up the line,
yeah,
the range?
It's close. It's close.
Hold on, just let's.
Needs to be like in this vicinity, pretty much, and not going to get to it. Oh, he's going to be fine in the end. Not spotted, so. Hey, but if anything, Pebbles is going to just keep pushing the bottom lane. Wild Soul clearing out the Legion jungle now, so buying more time for those heroes to get bigger and better. You said the Shrunken Head. In fact, the Shrunken Head is going to be completed now in Pebbles, as he has enough gold for that here. So another big pickup. The Golden Pebble is going to get even goldier. Or if that even makes any sense. Probably not. English is tough. Wild Soul, he's got his Plated Greaves himself, and as expected, his farm is starting to really take off too. But Zebe playing the Silhouette, continuing to do very, very well herself. And no doubt going to have to play that hard carry role this game. Really, really carrying your team here.
Yeah.
Okay, Warhammer picked up, so I wonder, is that going to be... I assume it's going to be a Shrunken Head.
It very likely will be just going for the earlier damage now for that aggression.
Okay.
And it is. Now the thing about Searing Light is, it actually does add a lot of damage. It's not just the agility and the move speed, which, compared to a Firebrand, isn't Firebrand just 10%? Firebrand's only 10% move speed. This guy actually gives you 14%. It's also that Searing effect becomes 12 magic damage per charge. Silhouette puts on 3 charges like almost instantly. So adding 36 magic damage per second to our Arsenal on top of the additional farming and capabilities. It's actually a little bit of an underrated item, I feel.
Yeah, we never really see it.
When I first saw Lightbrand introduced, I'm like, oh wow, this offers, Searing Light just offers a really interesting path for people that don't want to be farming up a Nullstone and want to go for a more aggressive early game. And I like that. I've seen lately more people experimenting with it.
Yeah. Zebe, definitely one of those here, and he is just, there you go, in fact. He has enough gold now for the Shrunken. There's the purchase. Going to be delivered. So
it's 22 minutes into the game. He has an Energizer, a Searing Light, a Shrunken Head, Vestments, Steam Boots. He is loaded, and of course, well, highlighted by the 520 gold per minute, but...
Yeah. You know, it's something we haven't touched on, actually. Exhibit playing the Silhouette, in a sense, kind of playing against his team from DreamHack, obviously. He ranked for in place of Fabelli at the DreamHack Summer 2013 event. So, you know, kind of stepping up here and playing against teammates that he knows very well, I'm sure. So, as you also mentioned, it seems like both these teams know each other pretty well off. Meanwhile, Pebble's going to jump here. Ascender's going to be a sacrifice. He's going to fall. The rest are going to...
They're out. They're just like, yes, under...
Not going to fight here.
Uh-oh.
Actually, Silhouette's in trouble. She doesn't have her ultimate here.
Are you kidding me? No port as well.
No, portal key on Pebbles. There you go. He jumps in. He is going to initiate on Silhouette, doing the hero block and buying some time for his teammates. Entangle's going to try to hit the Entangle, maybe. There's the auto attacks.
It's over.
Connect.
It's over.
And oh, and he used the Shrunken. I don't know about that.
Get it down to that 9-second.
Yeah, I guess so. There's no way. I mean, Exhibit, come on. You're not getting out of that. That was a little bit...
try. You know what? When you're being assaulted by a giant bear...
You try anything, I guess.
You can't think clearly, man.
Yeah.
That's...
big.
This comes with the territory of giant bear assault.
I mean, that also we see right there, you know, typical route, it tends to be more of a portal key, the Nullstone portal key, obviously. This is completely different. You know, it doesn't have as much mobility in that sense.
It has mobility, though, from the addition of that Searing Light earlier on, so... Still some movement. The Shrunken Head is the important part, but yeah. It's a little bit different, but...
See at the top tower, they're going to push in. Silhouette is not coming back. She does not have a buyback, so this is easily going to be tower kill. And Bonafide uses the last second. We're going to buy as much time as possible. The melee racks, it's probably going to drop. You still have 6 seconds of Silhouette, and you're not jumping in without a Silhouette speaking up. And actually, Rowley's going to get caught right here. In the meantime, in the background, Song of the Sea going to be used by Bubbles. The Golden Pebbles appears with that Shrunken Head energy field placed down. A pretty good placement, but here we go. They take it out immediately. Down falls the support. Silhouette jumps in at the last second, but Silhouette actually, that is an illusion, I believe. No, that was a real one. Never mind. The real one does die. And that could be the beginning of the end there. With that said, Silhouette's dead for another under a minute now.
Yeah. You know, giving a team Wild Soul is one thing, giving a team Ophelia is one thing. There's ways to work around it. I gotta say, when I see this Ophelia Wild Soul combination, it's usually a train that's very tough to derail. I don't often see and Ophelia Wild Soul lose this immense amount of pushing power, hard to keep up, and it's hard to really control the team. IG needed to continue to play perfect throughout that early game. The second a little bit of vulnerability was found, Pebbles with that portal key was able to exploit it so well. And I'll go back to that mid fight again, where I feel like IG knew they had everything going in their favor to take that tower, take a potential fight, and they just slipped up a little bit. And from there on out, VDT has just been constantly asserting pressure.
Well, you also see how fast the energy field died. I mean, clearly they were I wonder if that was just Ophelia simply with her minions and everything. Just focusing to attack it right off the bat.
One volley of attacks, man, and it's over. It doesn't take long. Just a lot of people forget about it. They're just like, oh shit, I gotta run.
Yeah.
You're in a team game. Everyone's like, oh, pop once, and it'll go. So
all of a sudden it's gone.
Definitely a strong hero, but
so well played there by the Hellborn team. And you look at now for VDT, the build-up that they have all of a sudden. They have a Barrier Idol Undemented Shaman. Energizer going to be coming up for your main support Torturer here. Ophelia, obviously, more utility with the tablet. You have Wild Soul, 3,700 gold saved up on himself. He doesn't even have a Soul's Bulwark. Oh, there you go. There's a Soul's Bulwark. So, going to go on from there. And then Pebbles, another 1,500 gold. He actually buys a plate mail, so Frostfield plate. Most likely going to be coming out here for Pebbles.
Yeah, works great with his tanky presence and initiation. We've seen Pebbles, even during the Grand Finals of DreamHack, it was a rare build, but eventually having the Behemoth's Heart and the Frostfield plate late game,
that's true.
Becoming a totally unkillable tank. And you throw that alongside a Wild Soul, who's inherently just an absolute mammoth, and you get a pretty ridiculously front line.
Do we have that
Strong
fight
front
by
line.
chance? Maybe we could pull it up here. The fight at the top lane while we are in a little bit of downtime here. Let's see if Pan Man can come through for us here. All right, yeah, let's pop into it. We are obviously seeing a Conquer attempt, but we'll go back to the live action if necessary. But you see right here,
I'll update you on the Conquer.
there's an energy field, and pretty much, look at that. It was up for maybe a second, and it just drops. And then right here, too, Silhouette comes in after a I thought she actually teleported out with the illusion, but then all of a sudden it dies. And
to her, it's like, this is a game-defining moment. We have to try to make something happen. We're not going to crawl back against Ophelia Wild Soul like that, so we're going to try. They're not going to concede just yet, but actually the gap not even that bad considering Rax is taking out now Kongor, which,
really
by the way, went down very smoothly. No contest, so you didn't miss anything there. 6,000 gold, 30,000 experience, and now they're looking to apply the pressure further. They can definitely take it late, but no need here.
That's so true, though. I mean, the overall stats are by no means staggering. I mean, this is, when you look at the overall stats, this definitely seems like it still could be a close game. But, again, there's a lot more, as always, to the picture here as far as just that. And no doubt VDT has a pretty big lead here when it comes down to it. So
Yeah, of course, you always have to look at a lot more than the golden experience because if every hero and every lineup synergy was on a one-for-one basis, yes, that'd be a perfect way of measuring the state of the game.
Oh, Bubbles, that was an illusion right there. So they're getting a good bait coming out of Pebbles. In the meantime, they're going to counter on it. George getting caught and tangled, or the energy field coming out as well on top of that. It is going to be eventually destroyed, but some good duration coming out. Silhouette chasing with the Death Lotus up, putting in the auto attacks in the front lines, though, trying to take out the Magic Shaman. She will eventually port back to her illusion. Rally, though. Oh, the Compel, but he got entangled. Mid-Compel, actually. And Rally's going to fall. Double tap coming up for Zergo. Torturer and Ophelia, the only two dead currently. Both Insania and Fusi buy back here. And it is going to be enough to hold off the onslaught from VDT. So IG continuing to do just enough, if anything, to keep alive in this game here.
Yeah, they lost their utility, they lost their support, but jungle, and not a big deal there. The heavy hitters, 3 carries of the team, 3-point farmers, Demented Shaman, Wild Soul, and Pebbles all left alive. So they're more than fine with that trade, forcing the buyback on Rally as well. Did they get any other buybacks? Was it an Engineer bought back too?
Engineer and Rally, yeah.
Yeah, so pretty big there. Engineer will have his tablet very soon. Not really going to do too much for him here, though.
Yeah, so again, just continuing to hang in there. There's a Slayer purchase on Silhouette. You know, I assume that's going to be a Savage Mace.
Yeah.
I mean, hell, they are behind, and it seems like we've been seeing a lot of Doombringers lately, but I don't know. I don't know if we're going to see that this game here. Although, you know what? Honestly, I wouldn't put it past it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't put it past it. Granted, he did go the Slayer first, and usually you'd maybe go the Sword of the High first if you were going to do that, but
I don't know. I mean,
if anything, it's
you want the damage right now. You're behind. You don't want to be sitting there camping for it. So I think it's all right.
Doesn't actually have it on herself though.
It's one of those moments where you look at things, and I actually didn't realize that the Slayer was down to 2200 for a second. Sometimes you get in between numbers and stuff, you forget about that.
Yeah.
I forgot that the Slayer actually got dropped to 20. I thought it was
Dropped
2400.
down,
I was
yeah,
like,
22 compared to the 3400 for the sort of the high. So, see right here.
Bad, not bad.
Boo Boo going to lead the way. Demonic Breastplate has now finished. Also, a Mystic Vestment's even thrown on him, just to add to the tankiness.
Oh, Boo Boo.
Oh, you.
Sir Reginald.
This is the 6th at
Sorry.
least.
Is it the 6th?
I believe
he,
he's come on. He's had yeah, maybe the 7th.
Each generation, the
Stronger
blood
and
goes stronger. Yeah.
Bloodlines here. Pebble's kind of in the
Big
front
Papa
lines.
proud.
3.5 minutes remaining on the Token of Life. He has a Frostfield plate, of course, finished now. You mentioned Shaman, Pee-wee, you know, he's been doing enough. He's been definitely doing his job. He has a Stormcloud level 2. He's level 14 here. He's definitely adjusted into more of it, the simply utility style, which is just fine, especially in this case. Middle tower easily destroyed. Boo Boo in the front lines, putting in those brutal auto attacks here against the melee rack. Stormcloud offensively used, and that's intimidating, man. There we go with the jump, though. Silhouette, it is going to be the real Silhouette. She's talbot it away. In the meantime, Frostfield Plate going to be used. That is now an illusion Silhouette, I believe. Energy Field going to be placed down, and this is destroyed shortly after. Glacial Downpour off to the side. Not doing a whole lot of damage, though. VDT takes out the melee racks, and Silhouette will fall in the process. She can fight back, but is it going to matter? GG, well plays are being called. And that is going to do it for game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. That is going to do it for the game, even, ladies and gentlemen. As again, these are best out of ones here in the group stages. So VDT will take out Internet Gangsters to start things off for Group B play here on day number 2 from the HoN Invitational. So congratulations to VDT. Well-fought battle on both sides. I mean, again, both sides definitely had their mistakes, especially early on. But it just seems like VDT was able to capitalize a little more on them.
Yeah. And
eventually recover. And again, you said it. Honestly, I didn't even put that together until you really even brought it up near the end. They had Wild Soul and Ophelia, man. I mean, that alone is a very strong combination.
Wild Soul for free, and he was actually passed up into the last pick of the normal drafting phase. And so we saw Slow with a different item build there. I honestly don't think the item build was actually, why do you go Searing Lighter instead of Nullstone? Nullstone wasn't going to save him in that gank top just after he got it, and he managed to be aggressive while power farming, and that happened during the earlier presence of an item like that. Had they had a different momentum going into that mid-game, you might have seen an entirely different case and be like, oh, shit, that was awesome. So I thought it was fine. Definitely a good game. Fun game to watch, and, well, that concludes that series.
Yeah, it does.
Series, the
match. Well, the match. It's always weird with the best of ones. Kind of get caught off guard with that. Anyways, that concludes that match there. Speaking of the other match that was also happening from Group B, Team USA, they were taking on, who were they taking on? BRB 3 minutes, that's right. Team USA did win that match. Of course, again, Team USA, the ex